Hello and welcome. Today we are going to paint this beautiful porcelain cup. The links to the reference photo and the line drawing are given in the description box below. First I applied a glaze of water. You can see I'm using my bigger brush. This helps you to apply a lot of water in lot less time. I have prepared a burnt sienna mixture with a lot of water. You can see that it is more dilute than tea-like consistency. We have water on the paper and a very dilute paint consistency. I did this to capture the cup's warmer tones. Now I applied this mixture all over the cup and the handle, except on the cup's stand at the bottom. The important thing to keep in mind at this point is to give an even coverage all over the area. Once this layer was completely dry, I created a grey mixture with burnt sienna and cobalt blue. Then I applied this mixture wet on dry, that is to say, wet paint on dry paper. And then I used my damp brush to soften the edges. I took my damp brush with no paint whatsoever and pulled down highlights, leaving space in the middle for shadows. Here I dropped in some dilute paint and then used my brush to soften the edges. And then I repeated the same thing on this left side. Clean my brush and then use my damp brush to soften the edges. Then I took my damp brush and used it to soften the edges on the upper side of the shadow. So now I'm applying the same mixture on this right area of this cup, deepening some shadows. And always remembering to soften the edges on one side. On both sides of the cup, there are round curved shapes. I applied the grey mixture on those areas and then softened the edges. Now I took some more of the grey mixture and applied on this left side of the cup. So here it's always wet on dry. I apply first the paint and then soften the edges with the damp brush. I think this technique is very useful for those fellow artists who have problem with paper drying too fast. This technique gives you more control over the paint and the edges without having to wet the surface first. Now I moved on to the handle area, laying down the same mixture very dilute on the areas which are darker in the reference photo and softening the edges wherever necessary. If you're working on 100% cotton papers like Arches or Saunders Waterford or similar brands, then you can use masking fluid on the highlight areas over here. But I am not so much in favor of masking fluid. I think it's an extra work and sometimes you can work without them. So I use masking fluid only when it is absolutely inevitable. So For those who are not using masking fluid in this painting, simply leave the highlight area dry. Don't apply any water on them. Wet the area around the highlight. That is exactly what I did here. And then I took my damp brush to soften the edges so that they are not too harsh. The area right under the lip of the cup is a little bit darker than the rest of the area. Then I applied grey mixture just below the highlight to create those ridges. Even though I had applied a glaze of water in this area earlier, but it was pretty dry now, so I had to take a damp brush and soften the edges. Following the marks of my sketch, first I laid down the paint and then I used my damp brush to soften and spread the paint. At this point I had two brushes on my hands, one loaded with paint and the other damp and moist to soften the edges and to spread the paint. Here on this corner I used wet on wet technique. I applied a small amount of water and then applied the grey mixture because I wanted soft edges on the left side. Getting ready for some sharp shadows right here in this corner, so I laid down the grey mixture first and then used my damp brush to soften the edges on one side and left some sharp edges on the other side. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. This helps me to reach more people on YouTube and I appreciate your help. Thank you. On this left side, I wanted some more shadows, so first I applied a glaze of water and then I applied the grey mixture and let the paint spread softly. Time to paint the stand. For this I applied a glaze of water first and then took the grey mixture. I added a little bit more of cobalt blue to the grey mixture to make it a cooler grey. I laid down the color at the lower part so that the upper part is a bit lighter in color due to the light reflected from the surface to the cup. While that was drying, I applied the grey mixture on the handle to show the shadows and the darker areas on the handle. This is the same grey mixture I used on the rest of the cup except the base. Time to paint the golden details on the cup. I'm using Winsor Newton's transparent gold deep, a very dilute mixture, but if you don't have this pigment, you can also use other options like cadmium yellow or yellow ochre. Once I laid down the paint, I used my brush to evenly distribute the paint. It is preferable to use a thinner brush. I'm using synthetic round brush number 3 from Cotman. And then I took some thicker consistency burnt umber to lay down in those areas which were darker. It is not necessary to get all of them. Some will be sufficient to represent the ridges formed by the shadows. Then I did the same thing on the lip of the cup. Due to the perspective from which we are looking at the cup, we cannot see the golden detail on the other side of the lip of the cup. And once again, I took a thicker consistency of burnt umber and applied it on some places to create realism. Then I repeated the same process here on the stand as well. And once again on this handle, first applying a very dilute mixture of transparent gold tip, and then with a thicker consistency of burnt umber in places, creating a more realistic look. Now I have sped up this part, painting the flower details in front, but I hope you can see. For the main flower in the center, I use permanent rose. For this flower here, I used a mixture of cadmium-free red with cadmium-free yellow. And for this here, I used cadmium yellow with a little bit of burnt sienna. For the blue flowers, I wanted to use cobalt blue for color harmony. Then it kind of looked a bit dull. So then I ended up using Winsor blue for these blue flowers. For the leaves on the sides and above the flowers, I created sap green by mixing hooker's green with cadmium yellow. And for the leaves below the flowers, I mixed cobalt blue to hooker's green to make it a cooler green. In order to ground the cup so that it wouldn't look as if it were floating in mid-air, I applied a glaze of water to create cast shadows. Cast shadows are darkest near the object that is casting the shadow. So I took my grey mixture, thicker consistency, near the base of the cup and then started to spread it around. And I dropped in some Winsor violet and French ultramarine blue for visual interest. This is the painting of a porcelain cup with saucer that we painted together a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't seen this tutorial and you're interested, then I will put a link at the end of this video. Here I want you to notice the difference in overall impact created by cooler or warmer undertones. Although it is very subtle, but I hope you can appreciate the difference. And if you don't see any tonal difference right now, don't worry. With time and practice, I promise that you'll begin to see more and more. Thank you for watching till the end. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next week with a new tutorial. Bye for now.